guys, I want to redo this tutorial for the served template. I apologize for skipping over a few key parts of this early on. I will make sure that I make this a little more helpful. So I apologize, in particular the background text. If you've never worked with smart objects, that can be confusing. So I apologize about that. So let me start at the very top again. The very first layer is going to be your bottom text. So what I do is just grab the text tool right over here, and I just click anywhere in here. And on a Mac, I will do Command A to select all. I believe on a Windows, that's what, Control A. I apologize for not knowing that. And I'm just going to change this name because I'm going to swap this photo out. So, and I'll click the check mark up here, and I've still got my text tool. I'm going to do the same thing with the last name. There. Click the check mark, and there we have it. So next thing I will do, I think what I want to do is go ahead and swap out the subject. How I like to do it, you can just go down to the subject layer, select that subject, or I work a little quick, so when I do, I just make sure I have auto select on right up here. I turn this on and off a lot, so I will try to remind you when I'm turning it off, but right now it's on. I'll just select her. I have my other subject right here in my exported images. And then I'll scale her down. Let's see, sorry. So another volleyball player for another school. Weird about knees, so I'm going to bring those knees right out of the shot here. Let's see what that does. Let's hide this other subject. Cool. I like that. We'll keep that there. Let's see. Don't worry about these right now. We will fix those in just a moment. So let's go back up. All right, so we are just on bottom text. Now we're on the smoke. That's just a little right here in front of her legs, just a little bit of subtle foreground smoke. You'll see me turn that on and off. If you want to add a color cast to that, you can right here. Let me go back. What I did was just double click right there where it says color overlay under the foreground smoke. Then you can click this color swatch right there, and you see that just a little bit of smoke right there. It just turned red. I'm going to keep it white for now. All right, now we're in these light flares, so that just kind of helps tie the subject in with the background just a little bit better. We'll turn them all off for now, and we'll work with one at a time. That one's falling just perfect right there on the shoulder. I'm going to leave it there. This one here. All right, now is where I'm going to turn my auto select off up here. I'm just going to make sure that layer is selected. I'm just going to grab this, and I'll just put it over one of these lights. I'm actually going to turn that off because it's in a spot where it's not really doing much for her. All right, let's go down to the third. It should be the other side here. That's right under this arm. So I'm just going to bring it up just a hair so you get a little flare on her jersey. The number 4 here, what's that doing? That's just right here. Let's bring that one up, kind of right over in here. I'm just going to shift it over just a hair. So again, right there on the arm, you kind of see what it's doing. If you want to make more of these, feel free just to grab one and make duplicates. You can drag it down to this little square here, or the little plus icon. It will make duplicates all you want, or you can do Command or Control J, and it will make duplicates of those as well. All right, I want to close out the flares. Now we're on the top text. So let's get in here. Let's get my text tool again. So I'm just going to click in here anywhere. I'm going to do Command All again. Her team is called the Mustangs. So it's large, not a big deal. So I'm going to do Command or Control T to transform. I'm just going to grab this middle dot here and just kind of scale it in just a little, not too much. Then you see the sport down here below her. It's still volleyball, so I want to keep it. I'm not changing it, but I am going to click that layer, click my move tool, hold shift, and just hold the up arrow just a little bit, just to bring that up so it's not such a huge gap. Again, with the text tools here, should have showed you up here, but it's okay. It's the same effects down here. So what we're going to do is we have these here. Let's zoom in on them so you see what's going on. You have this bevel that I have turned on. You can also use a stroke if you want to turn the bevel off, or you can use it with the bevel. You can double click any of these. You can change the color of that if you want. If you wanted to use something on the jersey, you can just kind of use this eyedropper tool and pick that. Let's see, they're orange. I'll kind of go a little more orange. I'm not going to use the stroke, but I'm just showing you how to use it if you wanted to. All right, let's see what else is a part of this. There's just a gradient overlay from a light to dark fade on it, and then just a slight shadow. And that's covering everything within the folder, which is going to be the school name and the sport name. All right, so let's close that out. Actually, I'll show you how to use the gradient overlay on the name. So just let me go back. Apologize if I'm moving too quick. So again, right here under the top text folder, just double click where it says gradient overlay, and you'll see this gradient tool here. Just click in there, and then you can, here, let me get rid of that. So you can click, actually I like that there. So you can click in here. Again, if you wanted to sample some of the colors in her jersey, you could do that. And put that there, and then same thing here. I'm going to select, there we go. Whoops, sorry. What I meant to do with this one is just make it a little lighter, like almost a white. Then you can kind of grab, just play. I like with gradients, just get in here and play around, see what you like. Just move sliders around, just get weird. Let's get this one out altogether. Whoops. If you get too weird with it, just cancel. Here, I'll keep it simple. Let's do this again. Just kind of keep it right in the middle. I keep deleting the wrong one. I apologize. Here's what we'll do. It's reset to default. There we go. Grab a black there. Here, we'll just keep it black and white again. So what I'll get in here and do now, oops, yeah, there's my little dot. Just start moving this little guy around. There we go. Just start getting a little more dramatic. All right, sorry that took too long to explain that, but yeah, I mean that's what I do is I just get in here and play around with the sliders and the tools, and they'll eventually start to make sense for you. All right, so next down we have stripes. That's just all these little stripes on the side. You can turn them off altogether. Don't have to use them at all. Sometimes people like just a more clean look that's not as busy, and I get it. So that's when I've turned them off multiple times myself. But right, for this tutorial, I'll keep them on. So you'll see thin and thick stripes. That's obviously the thinner and then the thicker of each side. So you can double click the color overlay on each one and you see what it's doing. You can kind of move it around and change the color of the thin or the thick on either side. For this, let's change them a little bit. I'm going to come back to those. I like changing my background first. So here's your smoke and stuff in the background. So let's open that up. And let's see what that's just two different layers. Again, there's a color overlay. So if you wanted to come in and do like a color cast of like this orange, you could do that. Not a big deal. Let's say okay, and then let's do the same thing with this. Maybe grab that, hit that white, grab some orange again, but this time let's do just kind of more of a muted orange. And you'll see the light flares that we added are still white on top, but that doesn't bother me, because if there really are some ultra brighter lights, they're going to cut through the color anyway sometimes. Or you can just kind of mute this other color some. Or if you really wanted to, you could come up here to the light flares and we can add the same thing. You can just add a color overlay effect to that folder as well if you wanted to. Now let's just do it for the fun of it. It's a little bright, intense, sorry. We'll tone that down. Here, let's go back to my background smoke. That's the one I already changed. Yeah. And then let's do this one again as well. It's a little more toned down. Here, let's get it right here. And now I can go back and do that foreground one again if I wanted. Let's do it while I'm here. Foreground, double click. I'm going to click this white. I want to click that. I'm going to make a little more orange. And again, just make it somewhat subtle. All right, let's keep moving along here. So let's see, we did stripes, background, lights and smoke. Again, if you wanted to take the lights out altogether, you can. Make sure you turn the light flares off as well, though. Let's see what else we have. Let's close this folder down. Subject, background. All right, so this is the background behind the subject. So I'll open it up. It's literally just a mask here, or a shape. Sorry, not a mask, but just the shape of this background. But what we're going to look at now is we'll just kind of go to an edge. So we have the stroke turned on. It just gives a little outline. It is a gradient stroke, I believe. Yep. So like we were just showing you there, it's just like a dark to light fade here. I think it goes, I have it reversed, so white is at the bottom and it fades to like a gray here at the top. Also have like an inner glow. You'll see this little glow here. So what we'll do there is double click that. Same thing, you can grab this color if you wanted to kind of match the colors that are coming in off the lights and the smoke. Just kind of make it real subtle again. There we go. Let's see, color overlay, that's the actual background here. So you can double click it and let's change it. Why not? Let's do this green, but make it a dark green. Let's zoom out so you can kind of see that. Here we go. And then the drop shadow, just a slight little shadow here on the backdrop. All right, let's close that down. And again, this isn't perfect, but I'm just showing you for, just for educational purposes. I'm kind of going through it fairly quick still, so I apologize. So again, here is the background text section that I kind of went over last time, and I apologize, or skipped over rather. So open it up. First off, well, let's close it. First off, you'll see a mask. So it's just the top little part is where you see it, and that's where I have it faded. If you want the whole thing, if you want your whole background to have this text, I have it set up so it'll do that. Just hold shift and then click that backdrop. Now you see it across the whole thing. Only reason here, and then right click it, you can enable it. So you don't have to hold shift, you can also right click and do disable. I like keyboard shortcut, so I just hold shift and click it. Again, if you do want to mask it, but you want more than that, then see this little lock right here, the link between the folder and the mask, turn it off. Make sure the mask itself is selected. Grab that move tool, make sure your auto select is turned off. Make sure the mask is selected, sorry. And then just grab it, move it down. You'll see the top is masked still, so I apologize about that. So what you'll do is grab, the marquee tool here and just stretch that out. And then you will want to fill that with white. So with white down here as your foreground color, if you want to reset your colors, just hit D, and then white will be your foreground color. And then now with that marquee selected right there, just do Command or Control, Option, or I think it's Alt on a Windows, backspace or delete. And then that'll fill that in. Or another way to do it, let's start all that over again. I want to bring that mask all the way to the top, select it again, grab this move tool. If you want to move that down, say right there, again, that moved it. So now the top of this mask, if you look in the layers panel, is black, and that's why you're seeing the gap here. So now another way to fix that is just to hit B for brush. I have a large brush, soft edge, and I'm just going to paint it in. If you want to do it that way. Another way you can do all this that might just be way easier than every way I just showed you. The third way is just to grab this gradient tool right here, and you start at the bottom and drag up, and you can see exactly what that background's doing. When you do that, let go. If you like that, cool. If not, just do it again. You can keep doing it until you're happy with the results. If you want it to be a perfect line straight up, hold Shift. Sometimes it acts weird, but eventually you'll see it kind of lock on. There we go. And that kind of gives you more or less of the background text, whatever you want. Or again, you can just turn it off altogether if it's too busy for you to begin with. Alright, so I'm going to turn that back on. I'll leave it about where it's at. Actually, no. I'm going to grab my marquee tool. I'm going to do it about where I had it, right there. Alright, so now let's open this folder up. And you'll see double click to edit. And then you'll see this folder, do not change. All that is all the extra text. This first double click to edit is literally the first line. You kind of just barely see it here. Once you change that, all the other ones will change. So what you do is double click that. It's going to open it in another document. It's weird looking, right? Like it just goes all the way across. And, all right, let's get our text tool. So we're going to change this text. We're going to say, Go Mustangs! Exclamation point, space. I'm going to Command All to copy, and then Command C to copy that. And I'm just going to keep repeating that until it fills this up. If it goes over a little bit, that's okay. Not a big deal. I'm going to click the check mark up here, say I'm done. Now, the important part is to save. Save this document. Just click Save. Or on a Mac, you can do Command S, I believe. On a Windows, it should be Control S. And you see it's updating all the smart objects. Might take a while because there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of layers. Now you can exit out of that if you want. And when you go back over here, you see now it says Go Mustangs all the way down. Alright, now we can play with it some more. Obviously, this blue is not their color, so we're going to come back and play with some of the color within this in a minute. First, I want to go right here. Second, there's a texture layer here for the background. You can turn that on or off if you want as well. I like it. If it's too strong, you can lower it a little bit. If you want more of it, crank it up. That looks weird though, so I like it just kind of subtly there, looking like construction paper or something. Alright, so right now you can double click this background color. There's blue, and we're going to change that. Let's play around. Actually, let's zoom out some. I like that. I think we're going to keep it this kind of grayish green. I don't know what kind of green that is, but I like it. We're going to keep it right there. Now what I'm going to do is come back up here. As you see now, our text looks terrible. So I'm going to come back up to the background text, and it should be the color overlay. Let's make this maybe this orange now. Here we go. Maybe tone it down, make it a little darker so it's not so obnoxious. Again, if I was spending a lot of time with this to make perfect, I would get in here and get weird. So yeah, I'm just not crazy about that. So what I'm going to do is color overlay. I'm going to double click that again. I'm actually going to make it this lighter green. There we go. Let's do something like that. Now with the stripes, let's go back up to the stripes, and that's where I'll introduce some of the orange, I think. So here we are on the stripes layer. I'm going to go to the, let's do the thick ones as the orange. So I want to get in here, click that orange again, but again, I want to make it, excuse me, a little more. We'll do right there. Now what I'm going to do here is Command or Control C to copy this color exactly, because it can get weird, so I can bring it over to this side. I thought about making them all their own color overlay just for both of them, but I don't know, somebody might want to change it each side. Alright, now we're just gonna just open that up, clicked in here, and Controller Command V to paste that is what I did. Sorry. So with the thin, I could probably just leave it that color, but I'll just show you anyway. I think I will come back in here and make it kind of this side here, just this lighter green. And nah, I'm going to keep it where it was. That's how you change it. Alright, I mean, again, if this was for a client or something, I probably would have spent a lot more time with it and got it perfect, but I just wanted to show you guys how to change everything up. Feel free to play around with it. Hopefully this one was a little better. I'm sorry I'm not the best at these tutorials, but I try to explain it the best I can. But as always, please feel free to contact me with any questions. I'll try to walk you through it and get you where you need to be. All right, guys, thank you so much.